on. You know I got to come to y'all live and in living color. Okay, keeping it real. Now, I don't know if you guys saw on this past weekend, this Saturday, okay, Lifetime went ahead and gave us something that we needed. And if you didn't know you needed, you know you needed it now. Okay, the legendary, amazing Clark Sisters movie on Lifetime. It aired on Saturday at 8 o'clock, okay? If you did not see it, that's okay, because you came to the right place. We about to do a review, a recap on the movie. I'm going to give my 2 cents in. There's some things that I didn't agree with, some things that I did agree with, but we are talking about Lifetime. Anyway, they did an amazing job, okay? If you don't know who the Clark Sisters are, you done missed out. You missed out. But you can still catch up with the rest of the world. Go ahead on and look them up, okay? They have paved the way. Some of y'all faves look up to the Clark Sisters, okay? Some of y'all faves have sampled from the Clark Sisters, okay? You mean to tell me y'all don't know who these women are? Hey, Jesus, unhook the chain. Let's go ahead and get into this video, okay? You're a familiar face. I will be right where you are. Now, normally I will have wine. I would have wine, but I decided to drink a little water because I'm sitting here talking about getting ready to talk about the Clark Sisters. Why I'm gonna have my wine for? Y'all gotta catch me on the next video. I'm gonna at least have some damn boons for them. Everybody that follows the Clark Sisters, we already know their amazing mother is a musical genius, okay? An icon in her own right, okay? Every Christian artist knows of Dr. Mattie Clark, okay? And I just want to let you know that the actress that plays her, I'm sorry, I don't know her name. It would have been right for me to like remember her name. She has a very beautiful, unique name. I don't even want to go ahead and mess it up, so I'm gonna put it here. But she played the heck out of Dr. Mattie Clark. She played the heck out of that role, okay? To the point where that it even brought the Clark Sisters to tears, okay? Now, this biopic was one of Lifetime's best biopics because we know with the Aaliyah movie, Lord, we done wrote Lifetime off 3 times over, okay? Lifetime done got canceled, okay, for their shenanigans, not doing proper research and rushing these movies. But we're going to get to that a little bit later. But I think because we knew the executive producers, okay, Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, and Missy Elliott, okay, all came together and decided to executive produce the movie, okay? In my opinion, though, I love the beginning of the film. She got those girls up out of bed. They were really young, came downstairs, okay, and was giving them their notes, practicing their songs. She would wake up out of her sleep, okay, with a song on her heart inspired by God. And she would get her daughters to practice it at home so that she could remember it. She could bring her daughters to the church. They can show the choir how it's done and give everybody their notes. The only thing that I didn't like in the beginning was somebody in that movie had pressed the tape recorder. And from an interview that I had saw, I think it was like 2 days leading up to the biopic being aired. They were on the Terrell Show. Another YouTuber, please go and follow him. He has the best musicians on his show, okay? Some people might be looking at me like, oh, you're not a musician. I'm a daggone musician, okay? That song at the beginning of this video is by me. You can check out my other songs and stuff. I'm on iTunes and all of that, so I know my music now. Don't question me about that. I know what I'm talking about. But go ahead and follow him. He has some of the best musicians on his platform. He had interviewed the Clark Sisters, okay? And what was it? It wasn't Dorinda. Jackie had said that the mother could not afford a tape recorder. So she used her daughters, okay, to practice the notes, practice the songs, and they were basically her tape recorders because at the time she couldn't afford one. It was very expensive at that time. I did not like how they They did not depict that in the beginning of the show. They actually used a tape recorder, but the daughter said she couldn't afford one. But we all know how sometimes biopics like to, they be freestyling sometimes with the truth, altering the truth, and you realize that the family and friends are coming out of the woodworks like that never happened. It be fabricating sometimes, or they withhold a lot of the important stuff. You have to understand, if somebody's doing a biopic on you, there might be a lot of things in your life that you never shared with the world, that you're not ready to share with the world. So of course, you're not going to have it in the biopic. You're not going to talk about it, especially if they get your permission and they ask you the timeline of things that happened. Of course, there's going to be certain things that you're not going to want to tell the world. So I get that part. But we know Lifetime be free. Also in the beginning, we actually see that Dr. Mattie Clark had issues in her relationship where her husband wanted her to be more present. We saw misogyny creep up in there, but I guess back then it was like that, where especially as a pastor, a bishop's wife, or whatever, pastor's wife, the first lady, you had a position that you had to play, especially with being a mother with kids. You wanted to stay at home. You had to serve God. You had to serve your husband. You had to serve your kids. There was no room for secular education. There was no room for you having your own career. It really was no room for that. It's not like how it is today. That's just how it was back then. So we got a glimpse of that. And I believe that when they touched on that, I believe that it hit home for a lot of us that have grew up in a Christian household, or a lot of us that have friends that were Christian, a lot of us that were familiar with that dynamic. That part hit home. She was very ambitious, but she was not going to dim her light to satisfy her husband. Okay, she realized, I can serve my husband, I could serve my God, I could serve my husband, I could serve my kids, but I could also do what God put me on this earth to do, and that was play my music for the Lord. Okay, so she had a lot of issues with him, and we realized that there was some abuse going on. I think it was verbal abuse, physical abuse. There was a lot of that going on, which was really, really sad. I didn't know that that was taking place. Prior to this movie, I did see them do an unsung, it was a documentary on them. It was about an hour and some change long, where they touched on that. My only issue with this movie, though, was I wanted to see more of the husband. Yes, she got a divorce. She divorced him. The grandson Larry recently came out. Shout out to Layla, another YouTuber who actually aired his Instagram live on her YouTube page. He clarified a lot of the stuff that was not true. What I personally wanted to see was, I wanted to see more of Mr. Clark. I wanted to see more of, her husband. And what came out of that, and what impact did he have on the girls even after their divorce? They made it seem like she was a single parent, and it to me, it seemed like he wasn't in their life after that. I don't know if that is true or not, but that's what they made it seem. And that's the only thing that I had a problem with. It's like, okay, boom, somebody was here, then they just disappeared. I got that impression from Denise. It was like, boom, she had it out with her sister. She was here. Then you never saw her again. Even at the end of the biopic, the beginning, Twinkie was around. And then boom, it was like, even at the end, we never saw Twinkie. We're going to get to that as well. Okay. Okay. So after her and her husband had got a divorce, she was driven. She said, I'm going to make my kids stars because they are what? Better than the Jackson 5, and I believe vocal ability, they are better. But I do believe she was a Christian Joe Jackson. She didn't play, and she was going to make something out of those girls. Okay? So she had them perform all over. I believe at the very beginning, Denise was already as an outcast. Now, there was a few people saying that the girl that played Denise Raven, why did they make her dark-skinned? Because in actuality, Denise was not dark-skinned. They portrayed her, the rebel, as being dark skinned. Okay, it was a lot of colorism going on there. I didn't see it. I didn't get that impression, and usually I'm pretty good at picking out colorism. I did not get that. The only thing that I kind of had an issue, like, no disrespect to the actress Raven, she played in Being Mary Jane with Gabrielle Union. I did not know that she could sing. I didn't know that she could sing. I really didn't hear any solos from her or anything. But everybody else, the lady that played Jackie could sing, the lady that played Twinkie could sing, the lady that played Dorinda could really, really sing. Even the girl that played Karen's daughter, Kiara Sheard, she could blow. I didn't get that from Raven. And y'all could correct me if I'm wrong in the damn comments. I did not get that she was ever a singer. So, but everybody else could blow. I didn't see colorism. I think she did an amazing job as far as acting. I think it was exceptional. But she was already the rebellious one coming into it. We all know that Denise did not have a hand. Ooh, Jesus. Denise did not have a hand in her input in this movie. I believe that they had reached out to her and she didn't want to be bothered. As family, especially when you have that many siblings, it's going to be an outcast. You're going to get somebody that don't agree with things like this. But she was already sneaking. So fast forward to that, we see that Twinkie would travel a lot with Mattie Clark. Dr. Mattie Clark would travel a lot with her, playing the instruments. She was basically her mother's right hand, and no pun intended, but she would travel with her to the point where she wasn't going to school. She wasn't doing what she loved. And it was one scene that really, really hit home for me because she's like, Ma, I got a test to study for. I'm in school. And the mother looked at her and said, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to eventually choose. You want school or you want to do this? I don't think she really wanted to do this. And you could tell the mother just rode her to the point where it drained her, to the point where she was tired. What I really, really wanted to see more of was Twinkie. I felt like her portion, the only thing that they really showed was she was in a terrible relationship and her husband had actually put his hands on Dr. Clark. I wanted to see more of her playing, more of her songwriting. They did mention it here and there, excuse me, of her creating You Are the Sunshine in My Life. Her creating that iconic song. I just wanted to hear more of her. She was really the spine of the group. Even her mother had left her the group. You could take care of the sisters more than I can. You can handle this more than I can. And she did. She did. She was the backbone of the group. Even on the Terrell show, they even said it. When they was doing song association and singing, they said, we really needed Twinkie. I really wanted to see more of her. Not that none of the girls had. They all had a special part in this and making their careers where it is today. But I wanted to see more of that backbone. I wanted to see more of Twinkie. I don't know if you guys feel the same. The same way I do. But she's one of my favorites. And I really, really wanted to see more of her. I really, really wanted to see who her inspiration was. They touched on her inspiration being Stevie Wonder and all of that, some secular music. But I wanted to see more of that. She was so creative. She was really doing the damn. She was really doing the thing. Even with her mother being extra creative with her mother, teaming up with her mother, teaming up with her sisters. I wanted to know if she worked with any other artists later on after her mother passed away. There was some holes in the story because I feel like it was rushed. But we know how Lifetime is, so I don't know why y'all get upset. But it was exceptional and it was what we needed. So unfortunately, the mother passes away. One scene that I really didn't care for was when they was at the hospital and they were talking to her and she wanted them to harmonize for the last time. Once again, still missing other people. You know, Twinkie wasn't there. Do we know that to be really true, that Twinkie never showed up? Denise wasn't there. It was just the Jackie, Dorinda, and Karen that was there. It was like, where is everybody else? Once again, Okay, bringing out my point. The person's here one time, then boom, you never see them again. Like, make it consistent. Obviously, this woman had a big family and had a lot of people that loved her. Where was everybody else at? Jesus, fix it. So I would have to say that I cried at least 2 times in this movie. Like, boo-hooed. Like, you know, the death scene and her passing away. It really hit home for me because I'm a musician. I work hard at what I do. I have encouraged my daughter and her work ethic. We work hard around here, okay? And in pushing her to do better and pushing her to be better. As a parent, you want your child to do more than you, do better than you, be greater than you. So unfortunately, she passed away. I was in this house crying like a baby, okay? The sisters didn't get into it at the funeral, and I'm like, child, the ghetto, the Christian done flew out the window. Y'all ghetto like the rest of us, honey. But we're all human, and sometimes families go through it. And I'm telling you, especially when it comes to black families, no tea, no shade. It has happened to me when my mother passed away. That is when black folks get down and dirty because money is involved, emotions involved, and you were never there. You need somebody to blame when somebody important dies in your family. Okay, the Christian definitely go out the window, and y'all will be fighting, if nothing else, at the funeral. I'm telling you, that's when it happens. That's when that really brings out the worst in people. So they're fighting, and according to Larry, Denise's oldest son, he said that scene never happened. That the only people that were actually fighting was Denise's husband, Larry's stepfather, and his grandfather. That's the fight that happened. That's the fight that took place. So the sisters were only there and upset at Denise because she was speaking through her husband. So putting the battery in the husband's back, and the husband was acting a fool. It wasn't necessarily Denise. So he said that never really happened. So he was upset. He was also upset because he came out with a stage play. And they took every scene from the stage play. No tea, no shade. I ain't never seen his stage play. It ain't been on Broadway, off Broadway. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm like, if the events that you're saying are true, because that's what your aunt and your mother told you of what happened, or you've seen it for yourself, and clearly the events that took place was accurate. So how could Lifetime copy you or bite off of you if y'all both have accurate events that took place? I just don't understand that. I don't understand that. So he said they took one scene from him. I don't think they did because it looked like 2 different scenes to me. Anyway, check out Layla, a YouTuber. She has him on there, on her page, and I don't agree with him, but I do like the fact that he brought out the fact that some of the things were not true, but he did have to admit that some of the things were indeed true. It was so sad that Twinkie had a nervous breakdown. Larry also said that was not true, that in fact it was Dorinda, but he said Twinkie had some issues, but she wasn't as hit when the mother died as Dorinda was. Dorinda was basically like a walking zombie. You know what I mean? She was in like a coma. Even 2 weeks after the mother died, she really wasn't speaking like that. She really wasn't speaking English. It was like really, really weird, he said. We see that Dorinda was actually trying to kill herself. I don't know if she was getting ready to jump, but you know that this movie was phenomenal and good when me and my boyfriend standing up watching the movie, okay? And we got furniture to sit down, but we standing up. That's how good it was. We also see that Karen ends up in the hospital, so that she only has a 2% chance to live. Now, why they couldn't just mention that she had a gastric bypass surgery? And that's where they found the blood clot. I don't agree with them lying about that. There's tons of people that have that surgery. They could have just said that. I feel like there's a lot of things that back then the media had exposed that the Clark sisters were not trying to admit to. They were trying to hide it because of shame, because of judgmental Christians. So they felt like there's a lot of things that they couldn't say. But it was gastric bypass, I believe, and they found the blood clot. And then that's when things got a little crazy for her. But she ended up, she's alive, well, still killing it out here. It's no shade or no disrespect to her at all. But I just felt like they could have kept that real. We're now in 2020, okay? She had and still has an amazing career. You could have just said it. At this point, who really cares? Nobody's judging you. Like you paved the way for so many people. Keep it real. Also, in a lot of the comments that a lot of the other reviews that I was seeing, people were saying that somebody had an abortion. It was an abortion. I don't know if it was Twinkie had an abortion or Dorinda had an abortion, but one of them had a daggone abortion. That's something that they didn't mention. It's a lot of other stuff that they did not mention. But like I said in the beginning of this video, listen, if you have a biopic and there's a lot of things that you're not ready to tell the world, or you feel like, okay, that part is really nobody's business, you don't have to share it with the world if you're not ready. People just gonna have to get over it. You feel me? Other than that, I thought that it was a phenomenal movie. Would I love to see them do another one? I wanted it to be longer. I just wanted it to be longer. I've been waiting for a year for this movie. I really wanted it to be longer, and I'm on my way to see it for the 4th time. They deserve the movie to be longer. Listen, if we sat through the All-American story about the Jackson 5, that thing was on for a week straight. The Clark sisters could have got a week straight too, okay? Even TLC was 2 days. What's the Whitney Houston movie? Was it 2 days? I know the New Edition story and the Bobby Brown story was like 2 days. They deserved 2 days, but you know, we are dealing with Lifetime. So maybe the second go round we can actually get a lengthy a movie, but I feel like the documentary on Unsung was more lengthier than this, and it had a lot more details in it. I really hope that the Clark sisters could get it together and really come together, them and Denise. And I want to see more of Twinkie. I want to hear more of her. I don't think that part was fair. Other than that, I think that the actress that played Dr. Mattie Clark did a phenomenal job, and she deserves her flowers. That was just my review for the day, okay? I like the movie. If you haven't seen it, go check out Lifetime. I don't know how y'all TV guide work. I don't know what channel it is for y'all, but go check it out, or it should be on demand. Lifetime on demand. Anyway, if you are new to this channel, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Put on the bell button for notifications for more videos. If you are already a part of the gang, you know what to do. Go ahead and like, go ahead and share, go ahead and comment. All right, I don't need y'all Christians, y'all holier than thou people coming for me in the comment section. But if you want to, go ahead and do what you got to do. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.